What's up, Stock Hustler? Welcome back to the Stock Hustler Network. Tuning in to the Hustle House. What's up, NexGen fam? What's good? Thank you for tapping back in with me. All right, let's talk about it. What just happened this last week, and more importantly, what just happened this week? Because a lot moving in the market right now, a lot going on. We got Iran, the deal that could flip the entire energy trade right now. We got a brand new Fed chair. He coming up walking the first meeting with the inflation. It's running very hot. We had CPI come in last week higher than expected, and we had PPI also come in very hot. We got the largest IPO just hitting the market Friday. SpaceX already trading. If you don't know about it, go tap into it. Currently hit the market at 135. When it opened up, it's trading at 150. Closed out around the 160 range. Excuse me. And we got the FOMC decision dropping on Wednesday. So we're gonna see if we're gonna get the rate cuts, we're gonna get a rate hike, what's going on with the market. We got inflation going on. So we really gonna need to be able to digest all the information. And the market already kind of got a whole priced in. If that is good, then that's amazing. But we're gonna see. So let's get into it. Let's get into it, man. First, we're gonna talk about Iran real quick. Let's talk about Iran, man. So, Trump and Iran, U.S. and Iran, they reached a deal. So they said they got a deal. They reached a deal. Say we got a deal coming. Iran deal final draft includes the ban on producing and acquiring nuclear weapons. We got official confirmed. So this is from the Jerusalem Post. Says the final draft of the deal also calls for the U.S. to waive the oil sanctions on Iran and lift its blockade on the Iranian ports for Iran to reopen the strait. Okay, so that's good news. Also, I posted in the next school community that, you know, Trump also said that, he's not gonna really gonna let them dismantle their nuclear program, and they're just gonna have to show proof of that. You get what I'm saying? That they ain't gonna really seek no more nuclear weapons after that. Let's see what else information this article got. A senior Iranian official told Reuters that under a final draft memorandum of understanding, the U.S. and Tehran agrees that it will neither produce nor acquire nuclear weapons. This comes shortly after Qatar mediators flew to Tehran this morning to help felicitate the deal. The official said that the U.S. has agreed in the draft memorandum for Tehran to dilute its highly enriched uranium stockpile inside Iran. The mechanism for this will be discussed for over the next 60 days. Okay, so we got 60 days to make sure that the peace kind of stay intact while they got this deal in place. They are going to sign the deal supposedly on Friday in Switzerland. They say the U.S. will also work with regional allies to prepare reconstruction and development of the plan for Iran to be negotiated and agreed with Tehran in the next 60 days. The U.S. President Donald Trump original announcement of the deal posted on True Social on Thursday. Multiple countries in the region was listed. Also approved was Israel, Saudi Arabia, and UAE. Pakistan and Qatar, both of which have been operational in mediating negotiations between the U.S. and Iran, were also listed. Until a final deal is reached, Iran has agreed not to maintain the nuclear status quo, including no uranium enrichment or expanding nuclear facilities. So let's go. And the U.S. will release $25 billion in frozen assets. The strait will be reopened, and he has ordered to lift the naval blockade. So, boom, we got good news coming in from Iran and the U.S., man, and the market is already digesting some of that in. The market is already digesting some of that in. No, we all know this war started back in February. It been a minute. It been a few months. It's been a few months. We all know it started back in February, with U.S. and Israel jumping on Iran. They killed their supreme leader. And since then, the straight really been shut down. We all been feeling these oil prices. We've been going through it. You know what I'm saying? So we all know it's kind of tight in America right now. Definitely at the pump, and this is one reason why. So this could definitely be very crucial. If Iran agrees not to produce no more of the nuclear weapons, then the U.S. agrees to waive the oil sanction. That can be a big, big, big impact on the energy trade. So now here's the trade. If the deal holds, oil comes down hard. Brent crude also already done pulled back in the low 90s. So if oil drops, inflation cools, and the Fed gets covered to cut rates eventually. It may not be this time, but probably around September during the Jackson Hole meeting. But this is a chain reaction that runs straight through the market. Energy stocks, particularly per oil plays, producers could see significant selling pressure if a deal is signed. But defense, aerospace, and drone stocks, they actually may hold up and rotate higher as the geopolitical risk reprices, which this is one closely this week. This is one we got to watch closely this week. Any headlines about a signed deal could move the markets intraday like real fast, real fast. We got Fed chair coming in. We got Fed chair coming in. Let me see, do I got an article for Fed chair? Kind of hawkish. They say he coming in hawkish, guys. So let's see. There we go. So yeah, we got the Fed chair coming in. He coming in hawkish. So we saying that the rates held at 3.5%, 3.75% as the fight against inflation continues. So Fed June on 2026 decision is a clear signal. Powell out, we got Rosh in. The question the whole street is asking is he going to hike? Here's what we stand at right now. The rates are sitting at 3.5, 3.57. Makes CPI come in and the 4.2% range year over year, then that is the highest, what I'm saying, since like 2023. We can kind of deal with that because we know now we at a peak we was at before, but we don't want to peak over that in the next coming months. The jobs market added 172,000 jobs in May, double what analysts expected. So the economy is still growing on the job level. That's good to understand, but sometimes it's bad because it don't mix with the data. But you got the futures and now pricing in a 70% probability of no change on Wednesday's meeting. But here's the kicker. Odds of rate hike before year end have started creeping into pricing for the first time since 2023. Traders are literally asking not when do we cut, but how high do rates could go. That's massive shift in the narrative. Now, is this a fake out? There's an argument that if the Iran deal closed and oil falls fast, inflation drops with it. That could flip the script by September. But right now, the markets is treating this like a higher for longer on the table. It's back on the table. The same narrative Powell had. What does this mean for the stocks? Your stocks, growth names, under pressure, banks financial benefit from the wider margins, short-term bond yields still stay elevated. Wednesday press conferences, everything, you know what I'm saying? We're going to listen to how Wars talks about inflation, his expectations on it, and not just the rate decision. If you're not an investor, if you're not a, experienced trader, highly experienced trader, avoid trading on Wednesday, man. Don't try to trade on Wednesday, man. Avoid trading on Wednesday, please, 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 please. Don't trade on Wednesday against the Feds. The market gonna be going crazy. It's gonna be whipsawing. You may not be ready for it. Let's talk about SpaceX. Yeah, let's get into SpaceX, man. So SpaceX was big, man. SpaceX was big, man. Came in at $2.1 trillion valuation. $2.1 trillion valuation on SpaceX, man. This is the largest company to IPO at this valuation. So everybody's looking at SpaceX and saying, hey, did I miss it? Or should I jump in? Or did I did I do right by waiting, or did I do, man, come on, man. We just got to pay attention to what the chart's saying. We're going to talk about it. SpaceX went public on NASDAQ. June 12th will be officially added to the NASDAQ, and then QQQ, all that. Going to be getting it in the short coming weeks. IPO priced at $135. For sure, we opened that thing up. It was at 150. It closed today around the 161 range. Right now, as of today, it's in the after hours trading around 166 between. It's at 5% right now. It's up 3.6%, up $5.90. It's up right now 166.85. It currently had hit a 168 range once the overnight markets had opened up, but it's kind of cooled down just a tad bit, but it's still bouncing in that 170 range. This is the largest IPO in stock market history. $75 billion raised, $1.755 trillion valuation. To put the context, Saudi Arabia's Aramco IPO in 2019, it was like 29 billion. SpaceX more than doubled that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I blew it out the waters. Now, is there more room for this thing to run? That's what a lot of people want to know. Did I miss the little run up that it did do? Me personally, I think the IPO was kind of weak. I expected more volatility than what it was, but as the analysts were saying, and I can kind of agree to them, the valuation of the stock is so big that, hey man, if it would have ran up like a normal IPO usually runs up, I think it would have been up like $2.5 trillion, almost $3 trillion in one day. I honestly believe that. So that's what it's kind of seeping the money into the market. So we're gonna see what it do. We're gonna see what it do. So in that context, the bull case is Starlink. Starlink is the real money machine here. Satellite internet with essentially no competition at scale. TD Securities says bigger days are still ahead. Kathy Wood ARX just bought 404 million shares. Hold on, my bad, y'all. Got a text. Let me reply to that real quick. Yeah. All right, so Kathy Wood Art from Archivist, she just bought like 340 million shares. You know what I'm saying? The first weekend of trading, that money ain't even came into the market yet. The bear case here, though, we always gotta have two hats on when we're looking at a play like this, definitely of its size. At 1.75 trillion, you're paying roughly 116 times trailing revenue. So you're actually paying way forward than what the company is currently earning, triple times currently than what they're earning. I'm sorry. So that's a software multiple on a rocket company. The numbers then kind of make sense. And the stock is already up 19% from the IPO price. So the question is, do you chase it? My take is, and this is not no information for you to buy, hold, or sell by any chance, that any videos that I put out on Stock Hustler Network or in NexGen Traders, information for you to buy, hold, or sell. You must do your own due diligence, and if you don't understand how to make an educational trade or investment, seek financial advice in your area. Please do that. I advise you. But my take on it, and this is not a chase on the Monday setup. Even if everything go good, it's still not a chase. You want to really let it find support. You really want to watch for the pullback around like the 140. If I can get something around the 140, under 158, you get what I'm saying? I can really see what I got going on the chart, and I can know where it's going at. You see how I hit these bounces, 158. So we know it, that we want to see it kind of break below that 158, and we know we can get a real good value play, definitely the 149. So we got good play on the chart. So we want to just wait for those pullbacks. So I'm looking at the 140, the 150 range for to start adding a little exposure to it. If you missed the IPO pop, please, patience is the edge right here. Just don't rush it. Don't rush it. Inflation data hot, man. You know what I'm saying? Inflation data hot. Inflation data is hot. CPI came in, and I just can't. I'm an economics guy when it comes to the economics. Here's the real debate on Wall Street right now. CPI at 4.2%. PPI is running hot. But how much is that is Iran-driven energy prices? If the Strait of Hormuz reopens and oil drops from the 90s back towards the 70s, you could see headline CPI fall 2 or 3% pretty fast in the next coming months. But that would be a massive fake out for the inflation bears. Core inflation, which stripes food and energy, is still elevated. And that's the number one watch. That's the number one thing watchers watching. The core, it has been very sticky. Services inflation is not coming in down cleanly. So here's the split. So we're gonna pay attention. We got two scenarios. Scenario A, Iran deal closes or falls, headline CPI craters, and market rallies hard, and the bull market continue. We get that V-shaped recovery, growth stocks rip, and cuts come back into play. But we got to keep our mind on scenario B because we're playing with the levels and the data all in one. Deal stalls or falls apart. We got 60 days until it's set in stone. Deal stalls or it falls apart. You got oils that stays elevated, wash holes or hints at hikes and come in very hawkish. Market sell off. Defensive and energy stocks will definitely hold up, but both live scenarios are right now at play, and that's this week's, and that's the potential to be one of the most volatile of this year. The five stocks that I'm watching about this. All right, I'm gonna get into this watch list, and these are the five stocks I'm watching closely with this week, given everything we just talked about. SpaceX, of course, already talked about this one. Watch for the consolidation range to form. In the key support, 140, 140, 50, 148, 149. Anything under 150, we know we got the 140 range coming in. That's key resistance. One key resistance is 170 to 182. This is not a chase. This is a watch and wait. SpaceX, we're gonna watch and we're gonna play it right. We're gonna get our levels just like we can. I also want to talk about Exxon. Keeping my eye on Exxon. I'm keeping my eye on Exxon because of the oil, man. The oil, man. The oil, man. We definitely gotta watch the oil. So we keeping our eye on Exxon. Pull it up so you can see it. So we keeping our eye on Exxon. So we pull up. It's already down in the overnight 2%. So this thing can drop hard. You get what I'm saying? It can drop hard and you can short it and we can play puts. But Iran deal equals oil drops. Exxon feel it, then this is your leading indicator for how the market believes the deal. If SpaceX is the hype trade, Exxon is the true trade for what's really going on in the data in the market. Watch how oil trades Monday morning. If crude gaps down, Exxon follows. That could be a short opportunity or a buy setup for the dip if you like investing in energy, depending on your conviction and the deal and the timeline. So that's a critical level. We're gonna keep our eyes on that 145, 146. We want to see if it falls on the 146. We know we did for sure headed to the 145 on down to that lower 140 range. You could possibly pay 142 puts. You can possibly play 140 puts on the way down if you get a signal of the break. So play with the chart, not with your heart. We're going to go ahead and dive into Goldman Sachs. I want to watch Goldman Sachs. I want to keep my eyes on GS. Why? Because GS is going to follow the money. This is a more expensive stock, but when you watch GS, she already up almost 2% in the overnight hours with the good news. Up almost 2%. Watch hold rates where Hint say he's going to hike. The bank going to win regardless. Goldman was the lead book runner on the SpaceX IPO. They're already getting paid for the deal. In the higher for longer rate environment, Goldman net interest margins and the deal flow both benefit. This is a micro-driven setup tied directly to Wednesday's FOMC meeting. So we got to keep our eyes on that. We got to watch how the banks move. And Goldman Sachs is a top player and one of the biggest IPOs of the market and got a lot of money riding on what's going on in the data for the FOMC meeting. Got Kratos already moving in the overnight markets. Kratos already up almost 2.5% right now in the other markets. I mean the overnight markets. Just ran up big that fast. Two, that's a good move. 2.5% in the overnight markets. The markets is open at 8 o'clock tonight, Sunday. So Kratos, let's get into it. Kratos defense. Even if Iran deal closes, geopolitical risk doesn't disappear overnight. Defense budgets are locked in. Drone programs are already accelerating. Money's already been spent. Kratos is one of the pure play drone and defense names we've been tracking on this channel. A peace deal could cause a short term dip, but the structural defense spending cycles is multiple year. Watch for the buy. Watch for a bit buy dip opportunity if the geopolitical risk reprices lower. So Kratos already running up. I wouldn't chase it, but I'd be looking for me. I'd be looking for me a move. You get what I'm saying? I'd definitely be looking for me a move. So we look at the 1 month. I like to see it below 50. It's already below 50 on the 1 month. We want to see it kind of break that $55 range. It'll come down to this $56, $55 range. If it holds, we'll kind of see how it plays, start accumulating, dip our toe in. If it breaks down, we know we'll break down to 53. I'll start looking at some more to start kind of loading up around this range. But the low end will be the $50 to $48 range if it pulls back on the news. But we know this thing is going to keep going because they already got money in play, money in rotation. That's what I'd be looking at on Kratos. But Kratos are already up 2.5% in that overnight hours. All right, SOFI. Y'all know I love SOFI, man. SOFI is still a big player. And SOFI is a big player in rate cuts opportunities. Look at SOFI on the 5-day. Up 3% in the overnight hours right now, currently. SoFi is the name we flagged on this channel before. Plenty of times we done made money with SoFi. It's a rate-sensitive fintech, and in higher for longer environments, SoFi's leading margins actually benefit in the short term. But the bigger setup is in the Q2 earnings season run, typically July through August for small caps. We covered that on the last video. SoFi is one of our primary setups heading into that window. Watch for the accumulation now ahead of the catalyst that's going to continue to grow over the summer months. So we like SoFi. We like SoFi definitely in the current range where it's at. I like anything under $20 for SoFi, to be real with you. I do. You may not like that. Again, no information is for you to buy, hold, or sell. All this information is to let you know how I invest and I trade and the decisions that I'm making. I like SoFi under $20, man. I like anything. Definitely 15, definitely 16. But it's potentially you could probably get it again down here under this low 15 range, $14 range. What's the month? It's low on it. It's still up 3%. It's up 4% in the last month, almost 4.5%. Yeah, so really we seeing 15, 40, 15 that we'll be seeing on SoFi that we can really get a good buy-in around. If it holds around this $16 range and this $17 range and then start just teetering in that area for a few months, for a few weeks, I would definitely dip my toe in there. And that's how we're going to keep it moving on SoFi. So I like it. It's definitely something to keep our eyes on for this week. With all the good news and the bad news going on and circulating around the town. You get what I'm saying? So thank y'all for tapping in. Before we head out, I just want to let y'all know that this program is brought to you by NexGen Traders. Come on in if you need a place to come learn. If you're a beginner, you need a place to learn how to invest. You want to learn how to do the charts. You need to learn just to understand it. Somebody to get in there to hold your hand. I'm actually running a 7-day free trial right now for all of Juneteenth. For the whole month of June, you get a 7-day free trial. Come over there, start learning, dive into the classroom, start taking the quizzes, and start getting some money with us. We also got the Options Made Simple course, Option Trading Made Simple course over there. So Once you learn how to build your foundation, when you tap into the school community, soon you get in that first course, you're gonna learn how to build your foundation. You're gonna take your quizzes and you're gonna finish that course out, and you're gonna come over here to the options trading made simple, make it real simple for you so you can start diving in and start making some money with us in the coming weeks, so you can start using your paper trading account and actually start making real strategic trades along right with us while we drop these plays and getting this money, man. Also, this program is brought to you by Moomoo. If you ain't got no investing app, I advise you to get a Moomoo investing app, man. They give you 8.1% on your money. Just sitting there. You ain't even got to invest it. Go over there, click the link in the description, put $100 in there, man, and let's start learning together. Use that paper trading account so you can start learning how to really get some money. That's all right, man. So this week ahead, keep it simple. We watching the Iran deal, watching the FOMC meeting on Wednesday. We still keeping our eye on closely on the SpaceX trade and the surrounding space stocks that surround SpaceX. We got high inflation data, so we want to see how the market digests that this week. There are the real setups on both sides of these trades, depending on how the micro breaks. Stay nimble. Stay nimble. Don't chase the headlines and let the price action confirm before you size up big. This video helped you. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Drop a comment. Hit the notification bell so you can get the update soon as I drop these videos. And if you watching, be back for next week. And like we always say, motivation plus dedication equals progression. I believe in you. Stay motivated. Stay